Good morning. It's Precious, and it's about 6 o'clock in the morning. So hopefully you can hear me. I'm trying to keep my voice down so I don't wake up the kids. But I have been up since about 4. I'm so restless. I'm unable to sleep because I have so much on my mind. I'm so stressed out, and so I just felt like I needed to get up and just pray. And so that's why I'm up. Um, Gosh. Sounds like I hear my daughter. Hopefully, she didn't hear me like moving around in here and wake up. Anyway, I I'm so stressed out. So on Tuesday, I went to have an appointment with cardiology. Um, I don't know why I had in my mind that. Um, oh my God, I feel like a muscle working out. Oh my God. I don't know why I felt like. Oh my God, I think I got a muscle. Oh God. I don't know why I felt like it would just be the one appointment. I don't have any other medical issues besides being overweight. There's no other comorbidities associated with my health. So I figured that he would review my medical records and stuff like that and just clear me for surgery. Why would I think that? I don't know. Because that's definitely not what happened. So when I went in, first of all, it was on a Tuesday. My daughter goes to preschool part time, so it's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I figured her going with me would be no issue, especially since my husband's gone. And usually, if I had an appointment and my husband was here, he works in the hospital, so he would be able to sit out in the waiting room with her or something like that while I'm in the appointment. But since he's not here, I took her with me. Yeah, walked up to the desk to check in, and the reception lady was like, "Do you have someone to watch her?" No, I don't. The doctor won't allow children in the room. Why wouldn't you tell me this when you called me to schedule the appointment after you received my referral? Why would you not make that a point to mention, if you have children, just a FYI, the doctor does not allow them. I could have scheduled her to go to daycare because they do have an option for hourly care, where I can pay by the hour. I could have scheduled her for that and been no problem because my appointment wasn't until, what time was my appointment? 8:30. So basically, I dropped the kids off and went straight there. But I could have made an appointment for her. So she was like, "Well, if you don't have anyone to watch her, we're going to have to reschedule." Mind you, I've had this appointment scheduled for about 3 weeks because it takes so long to get into cardiology. And my initial hope was to have my surgery the first week of October because it's the best time for my mom since she'll be the one to come here and stay with me and help with the kids, especially while I'm in the hospital. So I was like, oh no, can't reschedule. Because my husband worked in the hospital, I am familiar with some of the people who's in his department. So what I did was call down to the department and just basically ask a friend, an older lady, but so sweet, so sweet. I asked her if she would mind sitting with China while I go into the appointment. She was like, "Oh, I'm coming right up." So she came up. She said, "I'm going to take her down to my office." I was like, "Okay, thank you so much." And I've been to her house before. She lives like almost an hour away. So I'm just so glad that she was even at work and agreed to do that. So she sat with China, and China is usually not friendly, but she went to her with no problem because we actually were to her house on Sunday for a cookout after church. So she was kind of familiar with her, so she went. Going to the appointment, and they did an EKG first of all. I've had one of those done before, no problem. Had an EKG done, then I waited on the physician, and he was like, okay, we need to do a stress test. You need to have an ultrasound of the heart. I'm like, I said, well, okay, no problem. Are these things that can be done this week? He says, well, I know one of them can. Okay. So I go talk to his coordinator or whatever, and she's saying that the ultrasound, actually, they could squeeze me in, and I got that in that same day. That only took about 40 minutes to do, and that the stress test has to be done in advance. So my appointment for that isn't until next Tuesday, which is fine. But she also said that the stress tests are done at 7:30 in the morning. The earliest my boys can be to school is 8 o'clock. Tuesdays, China doesn't have daycare. And the hourly starts at 8:30. So I was like, okay. I'm not letting it get to me. I was like, I'll figure out something. So when I went to pick up China, I told Miss Juanita what they said. And she was like, okay, maybe I can take time off work and get the kids to school for you. I felt so bad. I was like, no. Don't take time off work. Don't use your time. Thank you so much for offering. I was like, I'll figure it out. So my neighbor has a daughter that goes to the same school, and I figure maybe she will take my boys with her daughter, since it would only be like an hour that she has them, and I'll compensate her monetarily or something like that. And then I went to the daycare, told them the situation. I said, is there any way that she can come earlier than 8:30? Because I know that they open at 5:30 in the morning, but the hourly starts at 8:30. So she says, oh, you can fill out a form to get an exception of policy, and you can request it. I was like, oh, thank God, because my husband's not here. I don't have many friends here because I have only really been here since April. The last time I was here was 2012, and we left in 2013 and went to Florida. So the people that I knew then have since PCS'd and moved. So I don't know anyone else, especially to know people, to trust them with your children. That's really hard for me. So I filled out the form. They called me today and told me that it was approved. But let me go back. The same day, on Tuesday, I called the surgeon's office because I have an appointment with them on the 16th, and I just wanted to know, because I know I have to do the EDG, and she says that I had to be cleared from pulmonology and cardiology before they would do that. I got cleared from pulmonology. I'm just waiting on cardiology. So she says, well, since you had your appointment, she was like, I can't get you in any earlier than the 16th, but what I can tell you is that your EDG will most likely be scheduled for the 24th of September, but you'll have to be there at 6 o'clock in the morning. This is why I'm stressed. 6 o'clock in the morning, what am I going to do with my kids? Who's going to be able? I'll have to be there at 6 o'clock in the morning. That means I will have to leave my house because the facility would be like 30 minutes away. And the daycare, again, doesn't open until 5:30. So even if I was to fill out the exception to policy form, okay, I haven't done that for that date yet because I haven't been scheduled. She just says most likely, and I didn't want to schedule anything until I knew. So I'm just really praying that something works in my favor. I don't have anyone here, and I'm just feeling really like defeated and down. Like, if my husband was here, it would be so much easier. I wouldn't have a problem or care or anything. And he has told me that his sergeant from here would be willing to help me, but in the EDG, apparently I cannot even drive myself. Someone else has to take me because I can't drive home because of the sedation. So not only do I have to find care for my children for that early in the morning to get them off to school, but I also have to find someone willing to go with me to the appointment and bring me back. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I feel like it's just pushing back. My follow-up appointment with cardiology, like after the stress test and all, will be on October 1st. They scheduled me initially October 1st at about 11 o'clock in the morning, but when I talked to the case manager at the surgeon's office, she says that's not going to work. She says, because I was going to tell you on the 16th that we have your mandatory education seminar, which is only offered once a month, on the 1st of October, and it's 4 hours from 8:30 to 12:30. So I had to call back to the hospital and ask them to reschedule my cardiology follow-up appointment to later that afternoon. But still yet, and actually I've been approved. I actually requested that day, October 1st, for all day child care, and they did an exception to policy to where I can take my daughter at 7:30 in the morning. So they accept, exception to policy that she can go an hour early. But I don't know what to do, guys. I'm pretty stressed out, and my faith says that once you pray about it, you give it to God and you let it go and let Him handle it. So I'm just praying that it all works out. Guys, keep me in prayers, and thank you so much for subscribing and watching. Just keep me in prayer as I try to get this stuff figured out, and I'll get back with you guys later. Have a good night or good day. Bye.